September we met.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is your favorite girl, Mpshe. If you are new here, hey sis, what is good? And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for constantly watching my content. I know I have not been consistent lately. I have been trying to plan for 2021. I'm generally not someone who plans, but I have literally been watching so many videos about motivation, growth, and all of those things. So I literally just wanted to try some of the things that these people had suggested. I've been watching a lot of Pastor TD Jakes. I've been watching a lot of Will Smith videos about motivation. I'll link some of the videos that I've been watching in the description box. But the one thing that I wanted to come here and share with you guys is, well, something personal rather, you know. Today in particular, I wanted to share with you, well, everyone on my channel, some of the things that I would say to my younger self. You know, I'm currently 25, so I'm sure somehow you're thinking, but girl, you're not old. But I think for the 25 years that I have been alive, I have gone through a lot of things. You know, I have grown so much, but also I just wanted to share so that for those who are coming up, these are some of the things that I would say take into consideration, if that makes any sense. You know, I'm not by any means saying that I am perfect or I have it all figured out. Honey, every single day there's a lesson to be learned, you know. So I just wanted to come here and spill my guts as usual, except this time I'm a little bit more personal. Also, in terms of the direction where my channel is going, I'm going to start being a little bit more personal. Not too personal, because I'm not someone who puts herself too out there, but I also want you guys to get to know me and not just the whole she does hacks and she shows us this and that, you know. So I'm just gonna share with you guys some of the things that I had written. So actually, I found letters that I had written to myself. I wrote these letters, I assume 4 or 5 years ago. And when I found them, it's funny because I found them when I was, these things are like so funny. When I least expected it, I found them. And I feel like it served as such a reminder to myself, you know, that you have come such a long way and you don't need to be so hard on yourself now. Look at this person who you were and look at you now. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna share with you guys a letter that I wrote to myself, clearly, like, you're not 5 years ago. It is time to let go and let God. You have let people become so accustomed to the idea of how strong you are, when in realness you are looking to exhale and scream so someone can hear how loud you're crying. And I'm sorry. It is okay to cry once in a while. It proves that you too are human. It's okay to be vulnerable without thinking that someone will take advantage of you. Stop not fighting for the things that you love and want because of the fear that they will eventually go away anyway. Stop pushing everyone away because you're scared of them seeing your wounds and finding out that you're not as strong on the inside as you appear to be on the outside. I'm sorry because you cannot change history, but we can only think about the present while hoping for a future. Find what makes you happy, have something to live for, be grateful for the past as has taught you so much, trust in your instinct, connect with your spirit again, write poetry like you used to, don't let the world crush you or your dreams. You're trying your best and I know that, and I'm proud of you. I forgive you and everyone for the past, but we move on now, only to greater things, and only greater things are coming. I love you always. Mpshe. Here's my little signature there. I don't remember when I wrote this, but when I came across it, I don't want to lie, I almost got emotional because I needed to hear it in this moment, you know. I'm going to share with you 10 things that I would say to my younger self. All right, the one thing I'll start with is be patient. Oh my gosh, if I had been patient and not wanted to have everything figured out sooner, if I wanted, like, I always wanted to be in charge. Like, that's just the person that I am. I always want to be in charge. I always want to prove to myself that I have it all figured out. But if I was just to pause, I would have enjoyed so many moments instead of going through things. For example, varsity. Had I just paused and enjoyed the experience and not just wanted to go through it so I can start working and everything like that, I believe I would have had so many more memories as compared to what I have now, you know. So I'd say be patient with yourself. I would say consistency. Oh, I struggle with this so much. I'm realizing now that I owe myself the consistency that I expect from everyone else. You know, sometimes it's so easy to say, oh, but my friends don't call me, oh, my family doesn't keep in contact with me, or oh my gosh, I don't have anyone to meet up with, and all of that. The other thing is, I had expected everyone around me to be consistent, whereas I wasn't consistent with myself. For example, if I set goals, I didn't go all the way to ensure that I had achieved them. You know, I didn't always make sure that, irrespective of what was happening, I stayed in tune with myself, if that made sense. So I just, to my younger self, I would say I owe myself the same consistency that I'm expecting from everyone around me. And then I would say positive affirmations. Literally, you know, when I go on Instagram and I see Dumantlando and her child, and she, like, they wake up and she says, I am pretty, I am, you know, like, those are like positive affirmations that I feel to my younger self, I should have said it more, you know, so that when the next person said it, it would have already been something I knew. You know, I should have acknowledged that I was beautiful in my own way. I was smart. I was a good friend. I was a good daughter. I was someone who was supportive. There were so many positive affirmations that I should have constantly said to myself, so that when the next person said it, it wouldn't have been a new thing, you know. Because I also think it would have stopped me from being in so many toxic relationships, you know. Because sometimes when you don't hear those things, when the next person says them to you, you think it's such an amazing thing. It's like, oh, is this how this person sees me? Whereas in the first place, that's how I was supposed to see myself, you know. So I would also say positive affirmations, you know. The fourth thing is, I would say to myself that happiness is not a destination. Oh, this one I am carrying with me up until I am old and gray. Guys, if there's one thing I am learning, is happiness is not a destination, but it's an everyday job. Just like you wake up every single day, you bath, you brush your teeth, happiness is the same thing. It's not I'm going on holiday and I'm hoping that in that moment I'm going to be happy. No, it's I want to wake up every single day and experience happiness, if that makes any sense, you know. So that's what I would say to my younger self is, oh my gosh, instead of thinking you need to go through varsity, have money, and then you're going to be happy, be happy in each and every moment. Yes, there are going to be times where you are sad or you don't really know what is happening, but don't think, if I have this, then I will be happy. No, try and be happy in each moment, so that when something comes, happiness high be like a foreign feeling to you. You know what I mean? That's another thing that I would say to myself. The other thing is, oh my gosh, comparison. My younger self, the one thing I would say is, don't compare yourself. We are all beautiful, we are all unique. There's just something special about you. There's no need to think, maybe life would have been better if I was like so and so, you know what I mean? Or, oh my gosh, life would have been so much prettier if I was lighter. Or we all have something that we are insecure about, that I'm sure, like I've also mentioned a whole lot of times what I'm insecure about. If you don't know, check out my old videos and you will find a whole lot. So that's the other thing, is I wasted so much time comparing myself instead of just thinking, oh, but you know what, you are awesome just as you are. Like when I also just the way you are, you know. I think had I put in much more effort into making sure that I didn't compare myself or my situation to other people, I would have grown more, you know. Because instead of now saying, yo, but I wish I was like Beyonce, you know, I should have said in the moment, like, okay, but Beyonce didn't go through what I went through. Beyonce didn't have the same struggles as me. Beyonce wasn't raised like me. You know, we weren't afforded the same opportunities. That kind of thing. Okay, not necessarily Beyonce, but I was just like making an example, you know. So I think comparison is just the thief of all good things, because you lose sight of everything that you have and that you've gone through simply because you want to be like a particular person. Okay. And then the other thing is, if I understood my strengths and my weaknesses while I was still young, I promise you, there was like, you know, you sit back and you're thinking, if I had the same mind now, back then, things would have been totally different. Basically, like, that just sums it up. If I had known my strengths and my weaknesses, I wouldn't have dwelled on so many damn things, you know. So to my younger self, I would say, you should have just acknowledged your strengths and your weaknesses and played off of that, you know. I should have acknowledged what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, what I like, what I don't like, who I want to be, who I don't want to be, the kind of people I want to have around me, like, and all of those things. Had I acknowledged them sooner, I don't think I would have been in a rut. Like growing up, oh my gosh, let's not even go there. Let's not even go there, because wow. But the one thing is, had I acknowledged my strengths and my weaknesses sooner, I could have gotten myself out of so many situations, right? The one thing that I've been like really planning and writing things down. You guys, I'm sure we hear it all the time. Write it down, you are going to forget it. Write it down, you are going to forget it. I think that has been me since, let's say, I left high school. I've been failing to write everything down, like my dreams, my goals, and whatever. I've just been going with the flow. Literally, I am one person, and it's so embarrassing to say, but I've literally, all these years, I'm going with the flow. I didn't have a particular plan. I didn't note down that I wanted to achieve this within these many years or whatever. For me, it was just like, you know what I mean? And no, I think to my younger self, I would say, write it down. If it's an idea or a thought, write it down, because you are going to forget it. You are going to put it on the back burner, because every single day there's something that's happening, and boom, you forgot about whatever plans that you had for the next 3 months or whatever. You know what I mean? So if it's something that you really think is important, write it down. I don't want to bombard you guys with a whole lot of things. So the other thing is, jealousy makes you nasty. This is definitely what I would say to my younger self. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You don't have to be envious of anything or anyone. I will say it again. Jealousy makes you nasty. Stop it. Stop it, and stop it. The whole idea that you are envious of what the next person has, what the next person has achieved, you are just constantly I'm just looking for an English word that just describes how crass it is when you become envious of other people's things, especially material things. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Stop being jealous when your friends achieve things. Stop being jealous when your friends buy things that you cannot afford. Just Stop it. Jealousy is just a horrible trait. No one likes it. No one wants to be around jealous people. It only delays your own personal growth. Stop it. It's absolutely unnecessary. And then, lastly, the biggest one for me, I would say, is accountability. I learned accountability, but there are some things you learn. Accountability, I learned it, but I'm also not always practicing it. For example, to my younger self, I would say, though I was in toxic relationships and friendships, I wasn't able to acknowledge my part in it. And I remember there's one thing that Dr. Phil said. He says, you can't change what you cannot acknowledge. That quote has stayed with me, like, ever since I heard it. He said, you cannot change what you cannot acknowledge, So I literally sat down with myself. I wrote everything down that I would say I take responsibility for. Being a young person, you always just think life is against you. Oh my gosh, you're going through all these things because God doesn't love you and all of those things, and you fail to take responsibility for your part in it. So the one thing I'd say to my younger self is be accountable, especially for your actions. Be accountable for the role that you played, because that's the one thing that it's very hard for me. Even there are just a whole lot of things. I don't even want to just talk about relationships and where I am in life now and everything. It's just taking accountability for things that had happened, even if they were against your will. Sometimes like things happen to you. It wasn't your fault, but because you aren't taking accountability for them, they keep festering on. It's like they keep growing and growing and growing, and one day you're just gonna explode because you don't want to acknowledge whatever it is that had happened to you, right? So that's the one thing I'd say to my younger self, is accounting for everything that has happened to me, good or bad, behind me. But it doesn't have to, the hate doesn't have to fester and grow anymore. I have let it go. Like Iyanla always says, hate is heavy, let it go. So that's also one of the things that I would say I take accountability for, and that's what I would also say to my younger self. So guys, share with me in the comment section what you would share or what you would like to share with your younger self. It doesn't have to be a long paragraph or whatever. Even if it's just one thing, I'm sure there's somebody in the comment section who can relate or who actually needs to say that to their younger selves. This is an opportunity to save young women, young girls, young boys from going through some of the messes that we went through. So, and just like that, we have reached the end of this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Please do engage with me on other social media platforms. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. I leave all my details in the description box, and I will see you guys on my next video. Mwah.